There's three themes that I'm going to cover in this evening's presentation. I'm going to start with a discussion on sun sign astrology. Why it's valuable to the future of astrology. I'm then going to relate a study that was done by the Wall Street Journal, printed in the Wall Street Journal, called The Sequence to Success, a study on millennials, ages 26 to 34, who they tracked since they were teenagers. And then I'm going to tie all of this together to go over the state of astrological education in the world. Let's see, what is this saying? New audio hardware. Right now. Okay, so when we talk about the state of astrological education world, I'm going to be going over disparities in curriculum and test results of various schools. I'm going to describe my own understanding of a sequence of events to becoming a successful astrologer. And I'm going to end it with a list of points that I think represent exceptional financial opportunities for those in the United States who are astrologers and who may be looking to move into the career of astrology with what I think are very enticing financial opportunities. So let's start with the idea. Where does one's first exposure to astrology begin? Well, the first step, I think, for most of you on this webinar, and anybody who really is professional astrologer, almost anybody, is sun signs. And many of you probably started with Linda Goodman's Sun Sign book. If you come from my generation, the baby boomers, one of the most popular astrology books that a lot of us came across was Astrology by Ron Davidson. There was books by Grant Louie, Isabel Hickey, of course, Ruger books, but they're a little bit more advanced. The main ones that people begin with are probably the sun sign books, books that give personality characteristics, psychological understanding of the motivations, the values, the drives behind each sign of the zodiac, dependent upon just what their sun sign is. So that's how we begin. That's how many of us were introduced to the study of astrology. So if the journey begins with an exposure to sun signs, shouldn't we take the quality of the sun sign columns seriously? You know, there's millions of people every day who read their sun signs, either on the internet, newspapers, or magazines. Just like us, that for many of them was their first exposure to astrology, reading the sun sign columns, which to many of us who are professionals, it almost seems like reading tea leaves, or going to a Chinese restaurant, getting your fortune cookie and reading that. Except there's more to it when you're talking about astrology, because everybody has a sun in a sign of the zodiac and in a degree of that sign. And so there's much more we can do than just drawing pearls of wisdom out of the air and putting them on a little tea leaf in a fortune cookie. There's much more we can do with that. We can actually look at transits going on in the heavens today that are making aspects to that sun sign, to planets in that sign, especially to the sun sign. So we should also understand that many media outlets do pay well for those who are good writers and have information and have knowledge of sun signs with astrology. So my question is, why shouldn't the competent professional astrologers enhance their income and take greater ownership of the quality of astrological information that gets imparted to the mass public through sun signs? If that's the public's first introduction to astrology, shouldn't it be the most professional, the most competent, the most quality-oriented astrologers who are the gatekeepers to that initiation process, to that journey into astrology that always ends one course in this direction. So it is in our best interest as professional astrologers to ask this question. Is it in our best interest for us to scoff at sun sign astrology, given these realities and opportunities to educate the public and the opportunity to earn additional income? I don't think it's in our best interest to scoff that. I realize we're talking about difference between professional astrology and the very beginning process of astrology, which is sun sign. And yes, sun sign is not really what we call professional astrology. You can't really give a full reading to somebody, but you can begin the process of educating people to the movements in the cosmos, even with the sun sign column.